Well, you want to try out helicopters in the sim, but you're unsure the difference between cyclic, collective, how to get the helicopter to go forward or up or down, left or right. Let me help you with Big Al's KISS guide to helicopters. Keep it simple, stupid. That's for me, not you. Over the next couple of how-tos, I'll teach you how to set up the controls of the helicopter, how to get it to hover, get it off the ground, get it to taxi, get it to take off, do a quick flight, then land again. And I'll try and keep it all simple, to the point, and as quick as possible, because nobody wants to spend hours trying to figure out controls and how to do stuff in the sim. I think that's something for you. Just follow along the next couple of tutorials. Try and get you in the ear as quick as possible. What I've done for this tutorial is I've used a cheap joystick. It's about $10. I want to prove to you that you don't need all the crazy expensive rudders, cyclics, collectives, joysticks, everything that's adds up to a lot of money to actually fly a helicopter. All you need is one cheap joystick that'll pretty much do all the controls that you need. So helicopters right now are divided into two types. Got the native helicopters, like the one that's on the screen at the moment, the Bell 407, and the non-native helicopters. An example of that would be the Miltech Osprey. Difference between the two isn't major. Few controls are named differently, but they're set up the same. So the first thing you need to do is set up the controls. To do that, click on Options in the sim. Control options. In here you will have all your controls that are connected to the sim. One that I'm going to use at the minute is Cyborg one, which is a simple cheap ass joystick. What I have done is I have set up native, helicopter native, helicopter non-native, name them. Do that by going into Open Reset Manager, create a new one in there. Set up all your controls and switch to whatever you want to name. Now I'll go through the controls, the native and non-native, control how it's set up. Let's jump into the helicopter. Let's get view correct here to show you. In a helicopter you have rudder pedals. Got the collective, which gets the helicopter up and down. You've got cyclic, which is forward and back, left and right. It's all the controls in the helicopter. Or tail rotor axis, which will rotate the helicopter. What we've done is we've set it to the rotation on the joystick, which controls the rudder left and right, which will rotate. Now you may see the cyclic moving a little bit. That's because this joystick is cheap, but it will normally tail rotor or rudder axis on the non-native control the rudder pedals. As I say, normally if you can't afford it, rudder pedals, you can configure it to your rudder pedals, but it'll work on this joystick. The next one is the longitudinal axis on native or the elevator axis on the non-native. That controls the forward, cyclic, pitch down, back on the cyclic or joystick, pitches the helicopter up. That's nose down, nose up. Nose down will normally speed the helicopter up. Nose up will bring the helicopter slow it down, so when you come to a hover or something like that. Next is the cyclic lateral axis on the joystick. Left on the joystick will bank the helicopter to the left. Right will bank the helicopter to the right. The non-native, that's the aileron axis. Finally, power management for the helicopter. Set it to the little throttle on the back of this joystick. You see me raise this little throttle, you see the collective in the middle of the helicopter come up. So that'll raise the helicopter up off the ground. Put in the throttle back down again, bring the cyclic back down, and it'll bring the helicopter back down on the ground. Just to show you what we mean by throttle axis on the helicopter, it's a bit confusing in the sim because it's called a propeller axis. It's actually linked to the throttle of the helicopter. What the throttle axis does, I'll show you on this joystick. If you look at the middle collective there, you'll see the little handle goes round. I'll just use my collective to show you. You can actually throttle the helicopter up, throttle the helicopter back down. That's what the throttle control does, which is linked to the propeller control. Bit confusing, but as I say, it's automatically looked after in the sim, so you don't particularly have to worry about it unless you really want to get into heli simming in depth. Pretty much that is all you need to control a helicopter. Just one other thing I wanted to add. There's also 2 assist options in the sim that can help you out when you're flying helicopters. So if you go to options, assist options, the piloting, scroll right down to the bottom, the last 2, helicopter assist tail rotor, helicopters assisted cyclic, turn those on. Those will actually help you with flying the helicopters as well, until you get used to it, and then you can turn them off to make it more realistic. But I find that these help you to get off the ground and fly around a lot easier. We'll do in the next tutorial is I'll show you how to get the helicopter off the ground a little bit and hover, and maybe do a bit of rotating with the tail rotor.